Welcome to Mr. B's Social Studies class. Today we are learning about the Pax Romana. When we left off, we found out that Augustus wound up being a good administrator and put policies in place that laid a solid foundation that would bring about a time of Roman peace for nearly 200 years. He went so far as to create a fire brigade and a police department to aid the poor. Pax Romana was a time about Rome being at peace with itself and not having civil wars. However, it was not necessarily peaceful for the rest of the tribes of Europe or for the Roman slaves. The era following Augustus is called the Julio-Claudian era. The first emperor to follow Augustus was Tiberius. He was the stepson and son-in-law of Augustus, however that works. He is mentioned in the New Testament and was emperor when Jesus died. Next is Caligula. He is a terrible, appalling, atrocious human being that doesn't deserve to be taught about in this class. He was followed by Claudius, who built aqueducts. Water is essential to life, but why are you making plumbing pipes out of lead? Then Nero, who was a despicable, horrendous, vile human being. Rome celebrated his death. He abused the beauty of fire. Those who disrespect fire get burned. He started the construction of the Colosseum. The year Nero died is known as the year of 4 emperors: Nero, Galba, Otho, and Vespasian. Vespasian will start an era called the Flavian Dynasty. Before I talk about the Flavian Dynasty, I must mention the history of Rome's conquest of the Holy Lands in 63 BCE. This is 3 years before the era of Julius Caesar's triumvirate, and it is Magnus Pompey who would be the one to conquer Jerusalem and annex it into the Roman territory. This area of the Holy Lands would now become under Roman rule. The Jews were often frustrated with the Romans because the Jewish people had a very different religion than the Romans. Their belief in one God became an obstacle for the Romans to merge their beliefs with or onto the Jews. Over time, the Jews would grow tired of Roman rule and would often revolt, always to be extinguished by the Romans. Under the rule of Nero in 69 AD, there was a major uprising from the Jews in Israel. A man named Vespasian was a general who was located in Israel at the time. He and his son Titus were called in to crush the rebellion. In 69 AD, Nero died. Then these 2 other guys were emperors for a short time. Vespasian left his son Titus to finish the war in Israel, while he left for Rome to become the 4th emperor in the year of the 4 emperors, thus starting the Flavian dynasty. As Vespasian was accepting his emperorship, Titus destroyed the temple of the Jews and then the rest of Jerusalem. The Jews would be forced out of their homeland and began to migrate all over Europe, starting a period called the Diaspora. After Vespasian, his son Titus took over. During the time of Titus, Mount Vesuvius would erupt, as well as the Colosseum would be finished. Following Titus was his brother Domitian. After Domitian marks a period Machiavelli called the period of 5 good emperors. We will learn about Machiavelli later in this class. The first was Nerva, boring. And then Trajan. He brought Rome to its peak size in 117 CE. And then Hadrian, who's famous for Hadrian's Wall, which is a wall that stretches across England that was made to separate the Roman colony of Britannia from the Germanic tribes to the north. He was followed by Antonio Pius, some say the best emperor you've never heard of. And finally, Marcus Aurelius. He was a philosopher of self-restraint, duty, and respect to others. And this marks the end of the Pax Romana.